Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Politics Now. We're going to talk about modern politics and modern America. And today, we are looking at this new polling that came out for Michigan. And it is pretty interesting and brings up a lot of interesting data to do with the third parties in Michigan. So, let's get into it. So, new polling just came out of Michigan, which is going to be a very contentious state. Donald Trump won in 2016. It was lost in 2020, and now in 2024, it is going to be a very tough fight for either candidate to win there, and the third parties are going to make it even harder for each candidate. So you have these third parties that are going to be running in 2024. You, of course, have the Libertarians, which take votes from the right, and that's pretty much all they do is take votes away from important Republican races. And then you have the Green Party, which kind of does the same thing for Democrats. And then you have the No Labels Party, which also kind of does the same thing for Democrats. And the Greens and the No Labels are going all in for 2024, and they are putting up a pretty decent fight, and that is going to hurt Joe Biden in a lot of these contentious states where they are taking vote shares away from Joe Biden, and the Libertarians are going to take votes away from Donald Trump. But you have these two parties that are taking votes away from Biden, and they are putting up a pretty decent fight. So you have the Green Party and No Labels. They are factoring into this race, and in fact, when you factor them in, Trump is actually up in polling in Michigan, where it's by 2 points and he's up, and the Greens and the No Labels are kind of stealing votes from Joe Biden, where if the third parties weren't in this race, Joe Biden probably would have a fairly decent chance of winning Michigan. But now, factoring in these third parties, it will be a pretty tight race. And right now, it's a tie and it's dead even. So, the Libertarians, so far, they haven't really put up any really tough fight for 2024, and they're still deciding their candidate. So once they decide their candidate, it all depends on if they pick a very good candidate, a medium candidate, or just an absolutely terrible candidate. Because depending on that, it means that if they pick a really good candidate, then it might not be a tie and might be a lot harder for Republicans to get Michigan. But if it's even like a average candidate or a weak candidate, then Michigan is going to be a very close election, and it is going to be very tight there, which, given the fact that Michigan is probably the most Democrat swing state, that is a big problem for Democrats because if you're having a tough fight winning Michigan, then how are you going to win a lot of these other states, which are a lot less Democrat friendly and have a lot more Republican advantages to them? So if you want to win the election, you need to win Michigan. And if Democrats don't win Michigan, they can't win any other swing state, maybe outside of Georgia and Arizona. Michigan is the gateway to winning all the other swing states, and if you can't win that, you have no chance of winning the other ones that you need to win the election. So it's currently tied with the third parties factored in, and it all depends on if Libertarians bring out the big guns or they pull out a weak candidate, and if Republicans sort of mess up the 2024 election, which, given the Michigan Republican Party, I'm not really that confident in Republicans winning Michigan. So they probably could pull it out and they probably could win it, but it's going to be a very close call. It's a 50-50 split right now where you could flip a quarter and heads or tails, Republican or Democrat. That's how close it is now because of the third parties. And really, the Republican strategy should be to let the third parties take away votes from the Democrats, and you got to turn out these rural voters, which in 2020 they did not do, and that's why they lost the state. And yeah, there wasn't a lot of third parties that were strong enough to take votes away from Democrats, but in 2016 there was also a strong third party presence where in a lot of these swing states that third party definitely did help Trump win a lot of these swing states. So Trump needs to focus on winning all of these rural voters and making them show up to vote. Probably get a lot of these more suburbs, and you could definitely get something like Saginaw County. Probably you could get Muskegon County. You could probably get a lot of these. Maybe you probably couldn't flip Kent County. It's a bit too Democrat, and Grand Rapids is right there, so but you could definitely flip a lot of these where you need to have more turnout for voters, and you need to turn these people out. Otherwise, you're not going to win Michigan. And you need to flip a lot of these counties that are light blue or sort of medium blue. If there's a big city that there's a lot of people in, you're not going to get those counties. You're not going to flip Wayne County. You're not going to flip Washington County. You're not going to flip a lot of these counties, but if you can flip some of them, Trump could win Michigan. And if he does the gerrymandering, which he has proposed, if he does that, he has a pretty good shot of getting a lot of votes from these counties and winning Michigan. Where Michigan has the most potential for flipping in 2020, where it used to be just it's pretty much going to go Democrat state for 2024. So if he can ballot harvest and if these third parties take enough of the vote share away from Biden, Trump could win Michigan, and that would be a major win for 2024 where you win Michigan, which is a very Democrat friendly swing state. If you can win that, it's going to be a lot easier to win 2024, and you might not even need Wisconsin or Nevada or a lot of these other swing states. You could have that safety net where even if you lose Pennsylvania, you still have Michigan and still can get that 270. So Michigan isn't a guarantee, but with these third parties, it's becoming a lot more safe for Republicans. And if Republicans just focus on having a good strategy and letting the third parties take a good vote share from Biden, and the Libertarians don't completely screw it up, then I think Republicans have a good shot of winning Michigan. It's not the greatest shot, but it's a shot. So Michigan is, after 2024, it's just a lost cause. Given the trends there, I don't really see Republicans winning Michigan past 2024, where you have the trends there and it's going more Democrat. So I don't really think that the state is really going to change. And just given the trends there, I don't really see Michigan going Republican in 2028 or 2030 or something like that. I don't really see it going Republican then, but now you have your last chance to win it, and if you can pull it off, you can win Michigan. So, Michigan, you just got to focus. You got to let the third parties steal votes away from Joe Biden, and you got to have a solid strategy. Republicans, if they get that solid strategy, they will win Michigan. So, Michigan is going to be very, very close. And it's going to be so close, it's probably going to be only a couple thousand votes away from either side winning. So there will probably be maybe 5,000 vote difference that decides Michigan, where you have these third party spoilers that are probably going to take tens of thousands of votes, and then it's probably going to be down to a couple votes to win Michigan, where if either side has a superior strategy, that's what will win in the end of the day. If you do not have the superior strategy, you are not going to win Michigan, and the third party spoilers will be for nothing because you can't pull out these voters, which is kind of why we need the ballot harvesting in a lot of these rural areas, because even in 2020, these rural areas should be deep red, but they are not. And a lot of these counties, which probably shouldn't be flipping, are because you weren't able to turn out a lot of those voters. And if you are able to turn out a lot of these voters who would not vote eitherwise because they need the ballots to go, and Republicans don't really do early mail-in ballots, so you need to go find these voters and ballot harvest where it's legal, where we we don't really like to do ballot harvesting, but you're going to have to do ballot harvesting if you want to win the next election. So you could hate it all you want, but if you don't do it and you don't ballot harvest, you aren't going to win. You need to engage in the same type of warfare that the Democrats use to win elections if you want to get rid of that thing that is helping the Democrats to win elections. You could say that it's not fair, you could say that it should be illegal. You can't make it illegal if you have no political power, which, if you win Michigan, you will get that political power to get rid of it. So, you need to ballot harvest, you need to let the third parties eat Joe Biden, and you just need to let third parties destroy him. So, if the third parties are able to put up enough fight, and we have a good enough strategy to get all these rural voters out, which if we do ballot harvesting, we have a much better shot, then I think we could win Michigan. And you have that extra electoral vote where you have a much easier shot at winning the presidency. Where if you just have the safest red states for out of all the swing states like Michigan and Nevada, I mean Wisconsin and Nevada, sorry. If you have that and then you have Michigan, you have your 270 and you do win. So you have you got to get your 270, and if you win Michigan, it's going to be a lot easier. So Republicans, focus on Michigan as much as you can. It is not a lost cause. We can still win it, and if you focus on it, you will win it. And you just need a really, really good strategy, because if you don't, you're not going to win it, and it is going to go Democrat again, and probably for the foreseeable future. So if you think Republicans can possibly win Michigan, or if they won't, leave that in the comments below. I'll make sure to read all of them and respond to all of them. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.